Welcome back to Shocking Scary Stories. Tonight, we're diving into the chilling depths of medical nightmares. Get ready to pull the covers tight as we unravel 3 disturbing, scary, true hospital horror stories. Remember, these tales are not for the faint-hearted. Let's begin, if you dare. The Whispering Ward. The night was dense with shadows as Dr. Eleanor Harding made her way through the eerily quiet corridors of St. Agnes Psychiatric Hospital. The hospital had a history tainted with tales of the macabre, but none quite as disturbing as the legend of the Whispering Ward. The psychiatric ward was known for housing the most disturbed patients, those who had lost touch with reality. Dr. Harding had heard the whispers among the staff about patients who spoke in tongues, predicting doom and despair. Despite her skepticism, she couldn't shake the feeling of unease that settled over her as she approached the Whispering Ward. On this particular night, a full moon cast an eerie glow through the barred windows, illuminating the peeling paint and flickering lights. Dr. Harding's steps echoed through the desolate hallways as she checked on her patients. Each cell seemed colder than the last, but it was the last room at the end of the corridor that sent a shiver down her spine. Inside, a patient named Emily sat huddled in the corner, her matted hair covering her face. Dr. Harding tried to engage in conversation, but Emily's whispers were incomprehensible. As the doctor retreated, she could swear she heard a sinister chuckle echoing through the empty ward. The legend of the Whispering Ward seemed more than just a chilling tale that night. The haunting of Room 237. Room 237 of Mercy General Hospital had long been sealed off from the public after a series of inexplicable events that left the staff terrified. Nurse Rebecca Matthews, a seasoned veteran with nerves of steel, was assigned to investigate the mysterious occurrences that had plagued the room. Patients in neighboring rooms reported strange shadows moving across the walls at night, accompanied by an otherworldly moaning. Rebecca, armed with a flashlight and a sense of dread, cautiously entered Room 237. The air inside was thick with an otherworldly presence, and the temperature seemed to plummet. As she inspected the room, the flickering lights cast bizarre shapes on the peeling wallpaper. Suddenly, the temperature dropped further, and Rebecca's breath formed visible puffs in the frigid air. Whispers echoed through the room, and the shadow of a figure materialized on the wall. Panic set in as Rebecca tried to flee, but an unseen force held her in place. The whispers grew louder, forming coherent sentences that spoke of tragedy and despair. Rebecca felt an icy hand on her shoulder, and a spectral figure emerged from the shadows. The ghostly apparition wore the tattered remains of a hospital gown and stared at her with hollow eyes. The room seemed to pulse with malevolence as the ghostly figure whispered, "Leave this place." Rebecca stumbled backward, breaking free from the room's grip. She fled, vowing never to return to the accursed Room 237. The silent surgeon, Dr. Jonathan Hartman, was a renowned surgeon at Eastwood Medical Center, known for his impeccable skills in the operating room. However, his colleagues whispered of a dark secret that haunted him, a secret that involved the death of a patient under mysterious circumstances. One stormy night, Dr. Hartman was called to perform emergency surgery on a critically injured patient. The operating room buzzed with tension as the team worked to save a life. However, as the surgeon made the first incision, an unnatural darkness enveloped the room. The lights flickered, and the heart monitor's rhythmic beeping turned into a discordant melody. Dr. Hartman's hands moved with an almost supernatural precision, guided by an unseen force. The atmosphere grew colder, and the surgical team exchanged uneasy glances. As the surgery progressed, the patient's vital signs deteriorated rapidly. Dr. Hartman remained eerily calm, his eyes glazed over as if possessed. A mysterious figure appeared in the corner of the room, a silhouette dressed in surgical scrubs, its face obscured by a surgical mask. The figure whispered, its voice chillingly calm, "He belongs to us now." The surgery concluded, but the patient did not survive. Dr. Hartman, returning to reality, was shaken by the events that transpired. The mysterious figure had vanished, leaving behind an air of malevolence that lingered in the operating room. Rumors spread among the hospital staff, recounting the tale of the silent surgeon who, in moments of desperation, made a pact with forces beyond comprehension. Dr. Hartman, tormented by guilt and the haunting whispers, withdrew from his practice, forever haunted by the silent specter of that fateful night. As these tales unfolded, the hospital walls seemed to absorb the residual horror, and the staff whispered nervously about the shadows that lurked in the corners. The stories persisted, chilling the hearts of those who dared to venture into the darkened corridors, casting long shadows that whispered of the macabre secrets within the haunted halls of the hospital. Epilogue: The Shadows Lament. The atmosphere within St. Agnes Psychiatric Hospital had changed since Dr. Eleanor Harding's encounter with the Whispering Ward. The legend that once seemed like a mere tale now manifested itself in bizarre ways. Nurses reported hearing the soft murmur of indistinct voices, and patients claimed the shadows themselves spoke to them in the dead of night. Emily, the enigmatic patient from the Whispering Ward, became a focal point of the hospital's growing unease. Her whispers seemed to echo beyond the confines of her cell, haunting the dreams of those who dared to sleep nearby. The hospital staff, skeptical at first, couldn't ignore the mounting evidence that something truly sinister lurked within the asylum's walls. In Mercy General Hospital, Room 237 remained sealed, its ominous presence untouched by the passage of time. The staff avoided that section of the hospital, as if the very air there carried the weight of lost souls. The spectral figure that had confronted Nurse Rebecca Matthews continued to cast its haunting shadow, a silent sentinel in the realm between the living and the dead. Despite the attempts to forget, the story of Dr. Jonathan Hartman and the silent surgeon persisted at Eastwood Medical Center. The operating room where the mysterious surgery took place became a taboo subject among the hospital staff. Some claimed to hear the faint echoes of surgical instruments clinking in the stillness of the night, and others swore they saw a ghostly figure roaming the halls, an apparition forever seeking redemption. As the months passed, the hospitals became more than just buildings housing the sick and wounded. They morphed into realms where the veil between the living and the supernatural grew thin. Patients whispered about encounters with phantoms, and nurses shared tales of inexplicable occurrences that defied logical explanation. The three tales intertwined, creating an intricate tapestry of horror that transcended the boundaries of reality. The hospital staff, burdened by the weight of their own fears, found solace in collective silence. The shadows that danced on the walls seemed to carry the sorrowful wails of forgotten souls trapped within the twisted corridors of these medical sanctuaries. Rumors spread beyond the hospital walls, attracting paranormal investigators and thrill-seekers eager to unravel the mysteries within. The stories became an urban legend, drawing people to the hospitals like moths to a flame. Yet no one could fathom the true depth of the darkness that lurked within the haunted halls. The hospitals stood as silent witnesses to the spectral dance of the macabre, and the echoes of the past reverberated through time. The unsettling tales of the Whispering Ward, Room 237, and the silent surgeon became etched into the haunted history of these medical institutions, forever casting a chilling shadow over those who dared to tread within. The horror that unfolded within the walls of these hospitals served as a stark reminder that some secrets were never meant to be unearthed, and the shadows held stories best left in the realm of nightmares. If you enjoyed these spine-chilling tales, don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below.